enjoying the fact that it's Tuesday, no longer Monday.
It is Tuesday, and that can only mean one thing. That means it is time for. This is now up to episode 7 of the Heatley End. I know, right? We're just chugging along, and we're getting more points on the board than Bradman at the moment. We're doing real well.
I think we're scoring more goals than Richmond.
Did they get 1, 2?
I kicked 1, I think.
In fairness, for a half, we only had 0 points, 0 goals.
This is true.
For a half on the weekend. We'll get to the AFLW in just a sec. But for everybody, thank you everyone who is getting on, who is joining us. Good evening, Robbo.
Hi, Rob.
Now we've put a new feature on, and so the comments are going to come up are looking a bit different. I like that. It looks like it's like a news bulletin or something.
It actually does. I like that.
Yeah, I like it. We've been playing around with the settings for those who are watching, but thanks everyone for joining us. Thanks everybody who is already in the comments and in the chat. Welcome to the Heatley End. My name is Nick, and this is Shannon. Hello. And we are 2 diehard blue baggers who have decided to start up our own podcast and just talk all things Carlton and talk all sorts of bullshit about the mighty baggers. Thank Riley's first already in. The headset is grouse. How good is my headset? I've got a brand new webcam and a brand new headset. I feel like offshore, Telstra caller straight from New Delhi. But we're rocking it. We're taking it a bit seriously. You invest in your product, and we're trying to adapt and grow.
I love it. I actually think it brings a new element to the show, a bit of seriousnness, if you don't mind.
Well, it just leaves it hands-free so that I can enjoy the greater things in life. And shout out stuff. Who are you sponsored by tonight?
Ryman Healthcare.
God bless the people at Ryman Healthcare, and I'm sponsored by Sailor Jerry and a Dark and Stormy with Bundaberg Ginger Beer. So shout out to Bundaberg and Sailor Jerry.
Have a sip.
Andy Jones is going to start us off, I think. Andy's talking about out of debt, go Blues. We've got to talk about this. It's a huge. Let's get the new ball going. I'll hand it over to you to start off, because we are, for the first time since 1996, at 25 years, it has taken us to be debt-free.
Yep, and the second I got that email from Mark Ledudiche saying that we were debt-free, I actually had the biggest grin on my face, because I know, growing up and seeing the majority of my football in those dark years from 2002 onwards, I just knew that this is going to be something huge for the club moving forward, because now we've actually told the AFL, we don't need your help anymore. Thanks, but no thanks. We're going to be an independent club. And the fact that we even made a profit after 2020
incredible.
It just speaks volumes of Mark Ledudiche and the board. And like your comment the other day, if they're not backing Mark Ledudiche, then are you really a Carlton supporter? Because this
strongly agree
has actually pulled us out of debt after 25 years. If people still want to have a go at this man, I don't know what else to say to them.
I could not agree with you any more vehemently than that. As you say, it's taken 25 years for us to get debt-free. We've been paying off the Legends stand. People think it's just because of the salary cap bullshit that went on and all of the nonsense and tough times that has had us in debt. We've been paying off a stand that was built anticipating us being, there for a long, long time. And within 5 years or so, not more than 5 years, but about 7 or so years, we're out of there. Yep. And we only got about 5 or 6 years worth use out of the Legends stand, which we've been paying off ever since. In that time, now Marvel Stadium, but Docklands was built, and games shifted away from there, not only ours, but the Bulldogs left there, and I think North Melbourne might have played a handful of games there a couple of times. We were left stranded, and let's not beat around the bush. In about 2005 or so, when Smorgon was president of Carlton, we very nearly gave the keys back to the AFL and just locked up shop. And I'm not speaking out of turn. We were very, very close to closing as a football club. It seems unfathomable that a club as massive and as incredibly historic as ours could face such times, but we were rat shit financially.
We were.
And the coming in of Dick Pratt was a turning point.
May he rest in peace.
And the incoming, the board's seen some turnover since then. But I would also agree that love or hate, under the board's direction and guidance of Mark Lejeune, we have seen about 12 million of that historical debt turned over.
Yeah, fantastic.
And as you said, very, very good point. Not only we turned that over, but we've gotten rid of that debt amidst a global pandemic, which has created a financial shitstorm for all companies, let alone sporting clubs, with huge turnovers of income. And yes, our profit last year did come on the back of laying off a lot of staff, and that's terrible. And my heart bleeds for them all. Genuinely, we don't like seeing that, but we're now in a position for the first time in a quarter of a century we're debt free.
Yep.
And I strongly recommend that everybody who's gotten their voting ballots via email lately for the AGM, which is coming up,
right.
I strongly and unashamedly will promote Mark Lejeune for re-election. And for what it's worth, I think Bruce Matheson and Jenny Pratt are other incumbent board members up for re-election. I have nothing personal against the other two people putting their hands up, but for me, it is a no-brainer that they deserve to be continued on. And while things are going well, don't change it.
No, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yep, and it's very easy to say. That. Okay, well, we've got the on-field success coming. Now let's focus on on-field.
Yeah.
Couldn't agree more. Now is the time for it. Kane Little today said on radio, there's no excuses is the theme for 2021. And I think that's something that will resonate with all of us.
Can we put a hashtag in the boys' rooms? Hashtag like your time is now or something like that, just to rev them up going, it's now or never.
Yep. No, and it is. The table has been set. Yep. And now it's time to dine on our opponents.
100%. Starting round one with Richmond.
Bring them on. Stuff them. Bring them on. Yep. The bigger they are, the mightier they fall.
That's exactly correct. And look at Brisbane when they won that, when they had their 3P, walked into that grand final in 2004 thinking they were going to win. Port Adelaide just went push. Yep. That's what we need to do. We just need to go into this season head on, going, nothing's going to stop us, and we will beat whoever comes our way.
Yep. No, I strongly agree there. And I don't necessarily want to say, we can shock a few teams and prove people wrong or anything like that, because I think that almost undersells us. We should be confident. We should be now in a position where we say, no, we can beat anyone. We can. Last year, we beat Geelong, who made the grand final. We were, as the siren went, we were ahead of Port Adelaide, who made a prelim final. If not for a shitty early start, we got within a kick of Richmond, the premiers, within the last quarter. And we've done that the last couple of years. So we're good enough to match it with these sides. We've got to stop underselling ourselves and playing that small club mentality. Let North Melbourne and St Kilda and let those shitty clubs have the small club mentality. We're fucking Carlton. So
while we're on that,
let's start acting like it.
While we're on that,
love it.
Membership record again.
Another awesome one.
Another record. Like I'm just sitting here going, that is unbelievable. 67,000 members.
Yep.
Like given the global pandemic as well.
Yeah.
All these people are jumping on board the bagger train because they know we're going somewhere. We
100%.
are going somewhere.
Yep. And again, there's people who, we could cure cancer and people are still find a negative about it, some people, but yes, and this 67,000 number has come on the back of, it's been inflated thanks to a lot of the free memberships that have been given out and stuff. That is tactical genius by the Carlton Football Club, because if we were able to turn a profit last year and we're giving out a few freebies this year, imagine the profit margin all of a sudden increasing next year. The expenditure we're going to be able to outlay next year is going to be huge.
100%. Like I can't see a negative in this, because these people that they've given the free memberships to, they go to a few games, Carlton start winning a few games, they're going to go, I like this, and then renew for 2022.
Supporter engagement. You get people you give people a taste of the honey, and then they want the whole beehive. They say, this is all right, this is all right, let's stick around. And as I said before, Carlton, I think we are going to start seeing a bit of success on field. Perfect time to get people dipping their toes in the water and feeling part of this great club that you and I both love so much, and we all do. Debbie says, stop this garbage about freebies. I agree. Let's not have to focus on, a few people got a free membership. 67,000 people have already signed up, which is a record all time. We've broken our record for the third year in a row.
Yeah.
We've not only have we broken that record, to my knowledge, there's still about 7,000 unrenewed members from last year. And yes, that was hard for a lot of people financially last year. They may have been able to scrape the money together for last year, but now this year they're kind of a bit less freely going to give part with their money, given everything that's gone on. And I understand that. But if those 7,000 do sign up, all of a sudden we're knocking on the door of 75K like that. And not only are we breaking our membership record, we're smashing it, but 10% more than our record.
Yeah.
And those sort of numbers are undeniable. You can talk about your free memberships all you want. If we're getting 10% increase on our previous record after doing it 2 more years in a row, we're flying.
That's awesome. Like I can't believe it. It's something that like I never thought I'd see like this fast. Like I know they had a plan, and when Kane came in, he was pretty much like from the get-go, this is what we want to achieve. We want to have 70,000 members by this time. He did it with Richmond. It's a proven fact that he got Richmond to where they are on their membership base. So onwards and upwards.
Everyone out there, just ask Kane Little. And I'm not saying that he's being arrogant or anything like that. He's more than happy to tell you, though, that this myth that Richmond fans always turned up, they were always there in numbers and there was always 100,000 people, it's bullshit.
No, it's absolutely
when we beat them in that 2013 elimination final, Carlton had about 45,000 members or so. Richmond had 41. We had more members than them 5 years ago. It's only this sudden trajectory, and it comes at about the time where he was at Richmond in that sort of same capacity, in charge of membership engagement and that sort of thing, the financial marketing side of things, that Richmond started to grow into this powerhouse. And look what's happening at Carlton now. You mentioned we set out a 5-year plan. I think it's a 10-year blueprint, but within that 10, there's a 5-year blueprint, which included being debt-free, redeveloping Icon Park, launching a women's team, premiership by 2023. I think it's within the next 3 seasons. There's a premiership. Good on them. And so far, all of those things are coming true. So there's no, as far-fetched as a premiership in the next couple of years might sound to some people, who cares? We're aiming high, and so we should be.
Look, it's ambition, and you want them to be ambitious. You don't want them to be in their shells for like St Kilda since 1966 or whenever their last premiership was. Like, if you're gonna grab the bull by the horns, so to speak, you're gonna go in full charge.
100%. And I'm sure I speak for you as well. I'm sick of losing.
Oh,
sick of it. I'm sick of getting to round 8 or round 9 and automatically starting to look at the under-18s and saying, who are we going to get with our first pick? I don't want to have to give a stuff. I don't want to have to worry about, but next year we're going to go and get Adam Sard or Zach Williams, or at the moment it sounds like Brent Stanton's coming to Carlton next year. I don't want to have to worry about those players. I want to have to be able to say, we're ready now. Look at the stuff we're doing now. I don't care who we get next year because we're ready now. That's what I'm ready for.
I'm beyond ready for that because, we've been sitting in the footy together for what? 7, 8 years now. And
we've seen some shockers.
We have. We've seen plenty of shockers since 2013 together. So it's kind of like we're beyond the point of, okay, now boys, pull your finger out. I'm sick of yelling, pull your finger out. I want to be yelling, yes, or great goal, or something different. Yeah.
I was about to say last year, 2019 grand final day. I was there with Michelle. We were there watching Richmond and GWS. And before the game, there was something. Now, I've been to a couple of grand finals. I was there in '95.
Great year.
I've seen them before. But being there on that day as an adult, probably for the first time as an adult at a grand final, all of a sudden I was looking around, watching everyone else, and I had envy. It was just FOMO. I was looking around happy for the people I was with that their club, Richmond, was in the grand final. I was happy to be at a grand final. It's a great event. But I was all of a sudden getting goosebumps saying, I can only imagine when this is going to be us.
Oh, I get tears in my eyes just at
I
the
don't think it's
thought
that
of
far. I genuinely don't think we're that far away.
No, like I can guarantee you, grand final day, I, I'm going to be as nervous as anything, and I can tell you now, I already know that Natalie will be crying about 7 times before the bounce of the ball.
7? That's 17. Gavin, I think I actually did say Brent Stanton. I swear this is only my first drink. I meant Zach Merritt.
Wow, right
That's the
club,
rumour.
right club.
Right club. And Stanton, his day was a good player. We've already got Brent Stanton, so we've got him locked up. So that's how well I'm going.
I thought you said Brent Stanton too, so I just let you go with it.
Yeah, he said Brent Stanton, and then Debbie's replying to Glenn saying, yeah, I think that's what I thought I heard. Yes, you did hear that. And I do swear that, as I said, we're sponsored by Sailor Jerry, and this is product placement. They're already showing me getting pissed on the show. But
Yeah.
no, those sort of players might be on the radar. Who cares? Let's win now.
Yep, let's win
We're
now.
ready now. Hard weekend at the footy.
I don't know if they were it was just nerves that first half of the AFLW game, or
let's extrapolate. What do you think it is? Let's expand. The first half,
okay.
Scoreless. I think there were 4 or 5 goals at halftime.
Yeah. So that first half for me, well, it was the first game I brought Ava to, so I thought,
huge
game.
She was gorgeous. Maybe I could say I'm ripping these trying to mimic Ava. She was gorgeous with her little headset.
For those that saw the photo on the AFL photos of my daughter and I, she was very well behaved. I cannot say the same for myself. But no, that first half, the first 5 minutes, there was a lot of pressure both ways, I thought. It
was, yeah. Contest was good early.
Yeah, it was. And when they kicked that first goal in that second quarter, I thought, okay, 1 goal's not a lot. And then they got their run on. And it was like we're just getting smashed out of the middle. And I can't quite put my finger on it. Like, Elise O'Day was hard early.
Yep, I thought so.
And I know Maddie got a lot of the ball, but I feel like it was kind of a situation where she wasn't getting much help. Like she
was getting no help, in my opinion, yeah.
So I don't know I don't know how to describe that second quarter without actually getting really angry. Like, they came off the ground at halftime looking pretty deflated.
They were angry is the word I'd use. And Harford was in a huff. Stormed down the race, and I think, well, I know I did, but a few others kind of said, give it to him half. And whether it was him, whether they gave it to themselves, whatever happened at halftime, it worked. They were able to reset a bit tactically and structurally.
Yeah.
But we were struggling the first half. I thought we looked a bit slow the first half. It was quite obvious the loss of Chloe Dalton from our team for the year, and Brooke Walker.
That pace off the half-back line was, and Gab Pound as well. Gab brings another element. She's a small player, but she brings a whole other element to that defence. She's like the Kate Simpson of defence, like very slender.
I totally agree. Yep. I think between the arcs, we look slow. The defensive 6, we had Mua, we had Charlotte Wilson, we had Karen Harrington. These sort of guys down back, they always rock solid. We know what to expect from them. I don't think the ball was able to really get inside 50 because in that middle third, we were just too slow and the ball movement was too slow. Our entries, as a result, were very shallow, giving Taylor, Darcy, etc. Jess Hosking was up there. Nicola Stevens was up there, giving them no chance to score goals.
No.
And I think we really struggled as a result of that. By the time we sorted things out in our structure, I thought second half, Georgia G was pretty good.
Yeah, I didn't notice Georgia G for that first half.
They were all ordinary. I won't just single Georgia out. I think we looked best when our middle 3, obviously Aldani or Breed, Moody in the ruck, but when our midfield starting centre square comprised of Prasparkas, Abby Mackay, and Egan, I thought was when and O'Day was when I thought we looked best. I thought Grace Egan's first half was a bit off from the standards she set last year, but again, she wasn't alone in that. But yeah, O'Day, Mackay, and who did I say? Prespakis as our middle three. I thought we looked most dangerous with those three in there.
We did. And that third quarter, when we got to within, I think it was 8 points or something like that, we let that last goal slip just before the 3-quarter time. Kind of didn't help us. And the fact that they cut the last quarter short by a couple of minutes also didn't help, but we're not going to blame them.
There was another 5 minutes we were a chance.
Well, Keza kicked the goal right on the siren, so...
Yeah. I strongly am of the belief, not that I'm one to blame umpires, I don't believe that. And I thought on the night we actually... Early on, we got screwed, but on the whole, I thought we probably broke even umpire-wise. There was a very dubious one given against Darcy, where she took a mark on the line, and I think before the line, let alone on the line. And they called it a point for over the line. Well, I don't think she juggled it. It's either she took a mark or she, if anything, moved the ball back onto the point post so it's touched out of bounds. It couldn't have been a point. So that was a bit of a howler, and had she have taken that mark and kicked, we would have been under a goal at 3-quarter time rather than them going down the other end. So that was a bit of a hard moment. So in the end, we weren't bad. We could have probably turned a shocking result into a win, just like Carlton men do all the time. But any highlights of the day? Looks like someone on the Cheer Squad page has got a highlight of the day.
That was my highlight of the day.
That's your highlight of the day? It's pretty close to my highlight of the day.
Don't get tackled by Maddie and retaliate without getting retaliation back. And I had a lot of respect for this ex-Blue. I'm not going to name her. We all know who it is. But I had a lot of respect.
Davey, I'll say it. I don't give a stuff.
I know you don't like it. I had a lot of respect for her, but when the way she lashed out, sorry, you've lost me. But no, you don't.
Phenomenal footballer, but Carlton captains don't change clubs.
No. And become captains of other clubs.
Any player can leave a club and do what I don't care. Carlton captains are sacred. To me, if you are the captain of our club, and our club offered them everything, she got offered a car. Anyway, it's not about trashing individuals, but yeah, I enjoyed that tackle on her too, and I think that, well, she laughed last because they got the 4 points, but we'll see at the end of the season who's laughing. And
I believe the girl that laid the sling tackle on Taylor Harris, which both my father and I got up at the same time and yelled out, "You bitch!"
It took a tackle like that for us to get a free kick at that point of the game. Yep.
Yeah. No. She copped a week.
Yep.
Right.
Oh, she did.
Yeah.
Okay.
Copped a week. Rightly so, because that's a dangerous tackle. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Well,
who you're tackling? It's a dangerous tackle. If one of our girls did it, I would say.
Yeah. I deserved a week. I know it was a shocker. As a result of concussion, Mua is missing a week.
Yes.
She may have possibly got up, but literally last week I was here saying it's a good thing that the AFL had changed the concussion policy from 6 days to 14. Well, Mu was the first victim of it. Be careful what you wish for, Nick, but I do think it's a good policy for the health and safety of all players. But Mua, unfortunately, is going to be the first one to miss. So that opens up a bit of a question. Who do we bring in? For me, Jess Edwards is a real calming presence, that a bit of leadership that I thought we could have done with the other night. I think she would be someone that I'd be putting my hand up to see her come back in.
Yep,
I'm not certain whether Gab Pound's ready to come back. She might miss one more.
She did hint to us though. She did say that she would want to come back.
She did tell me she'll be 1 or 2 more.
She did say the same.
That could mean this week or could mean next week. So if she's not ready.
She also broke her hand tackling the coach. So
yeah, she did tell that it was she said it was half's fault. So I said I'll write an angry letter. But we got a few issues around injuries with no Lucy McAvoy. Bernie's missing. We mentioned Brooke Walker before. So they've got a few on the injured list already, but it's such depth where, on the weekend, on their starting 22, we had names like Downey and Egan named on the bench. That shows the depth we do have. So we're not in a terrible position. It's not panic stations or anything.
And let's not knock the Bulldogs. They were.
They're not a bad side. They got a girl called Izzy Huntington, and I don't know how many of our people in our chat section or our viewers actually know about a lot of the other players from the other teams. Izzy Huntington's a genuine star, and Karen Harrington will get her this weekend, and we'll have a big task on our hands.
Yeah, well, if we play like we played last year's Pride game, we'll beat them.
repeat that performance, we'll smash them.
Oh, yeah.
Lily, how good was Jess Hosking? I think Jess Hosking was fantastic.
Hello, Lily. Nice of you to be watching. Lily plays football with me at Pasco Vale.
Oh, shout out to Paco. I'm the number 1 ticket holder down there, aren't I?
I'm your favourite player. You're my favourite.
You are my favourite player.
So
putting in performances like that, Jess Hosking will soon catch you as my favourite player, but Hosco was very good. Tackling pressure was very good.
Used the pre-game cuddles that she got from Ava.
Maybe that's the lucky charm. But I have to repeat that performance, I think.
Yeah.
No, Jess, not to knock, and it almost sound like a knock if I say her foot skills impressed me, because it sounds like that she doesn't otherwise, but I thought her foot skills looked a bit better than usual. Yeah. She used it quite well. No, I was very happy with her game. If you got a best 3 for me from the weekend as we wrap up the AFLW chat?
Yeah, I think Maddie 3, best by far. I'd go Elise O'Day 2 for mine. She showed me something that was the reason why she was such a dominant player at Melbourne. I thought that her first game for Carlton was great. It could be better, but I do give her the 2. Yep. And I go 1 for Jess for her efforts.
Good call. I also think Prespakis was best on ground for us. She got in the coaches' votes, but I think she'll get our most votes on BNF night. I think that Abby Mackay was our second best player. And for the 1 vote, it's really hard to split either Mua Laloifi, who Andy's mentioned here, Jess Hosking. Otherwise, shout out to Mimi Hill, first game, debutant for Carlton.
She was so good, wasn't she?
Shining light. We found a player there. I spoke earlier about needing a bit of run and carry. I thought she brought that, but her ability with quick hands from in clearance work, I thought she was able to feed the ball to Maddie Prespakis quite a bit.
Yeah.
And Maddie was able to play the game she did as a result of players like Mimi feeding the ball to her. I haven't seen it online. Details later, please. Oh, you're the fashion mogul.
I am. I'm wearing the training top that we got last year. I think it is available online.
There you go, Debbie. It's on the Carlton Shop website.
If not, it might have to be a trip to the Carlton Shop.
What did you think of our new girls? We've mentioned Elise O'Day. We've mentioned Mimi Hill. Who else was a
Maddie
new
Guerin.
player? Maddie Guerin. Actually, she was very good.
Came back from a knee reco. Fantastic.
She's come out from, I think it's 18 months out of the game she's had. So, yeah, it's a huge comeback from that. And given that circumstance, wasn't bad.
No,
wasn't bad at all.
I don't think we had any other debutantes that we drafted.
Maybe not that we drafted, but we had Brooke Vernon played her second game. She played in last year's pro game. We did too. Charlotte Hammonds was another debutant.
Oh, yes. I thought she was in defence, wasn't she?
She started up forward. She kind of ran around a bit. We threw our structure around quite a bit in the end. Yeah. Look, she was okay without being great, but I wouldn't say she had a poor performance. Nothing warranting getting dropped or anything.
No. So
if she was to get dropped, it would mean that a handful are coming back, I think.
Yeah. Well, I think we're in good stead for round 2. So let's just see what happens, eh?
Yep. Looking ahead to the Pride round, it's always a big event.
Yep.
Cheer Squad's going to be there. Anyone who is watching wanting to book tickets for this Friday's game, the Cheer Squad will be located in Section 3. I think they call it Section 3 or Zone 3. Down the Gordon Street end of the ground. So that's where we'll be. The Carlton Pride team will be in there as well. So there will be plenty of colour, plenty of stuff happening, and plenty of noise at that end of the ground. So everyone who wants to get along, maybe you've never been to an AFLW game before. If you're going to go to one, this is the sort of game to go to. This, in my opinion, encapsulates what AFLW is about.
Yep.
It's community. It's awesome, and it'd be a great one to get to.
I sadly will be working, so I won't be in attendance.
Come along, Shannon won't be there. No, kidding.
Oh, rude. No, well, it all depends. At the moment, I'm a tentative maybe.
No, look, it's always a great night. And then the night after, Shan, we've got another night on our hands, and I presume I'm seeing you at that one.
Yes, I'll be there.
I think you're on our table, actually, aren't you? Or you're on the other table? I don't know. There's a
Okay.
couple of tables. There's a couple of tables. Cheer Squad's got 2 tables at the John Nichols Medal.
Yob has not told me a thing, so I just
Yeah. I don't know who's on what table, to be honest. We've got 2 tables. Who wins the John Nichols Medal? Gavin asks, who wins the John Nichols Medal on Saturday night?
I think we discussed this not last week, the week before with Trev and John. I think I'm still going to stick with Weeders. I think I said Weeders and Walshy, or a tie. No, I think I said a tie between the two of them.
Tie's not a bad idea. Look, I think it is a 2-horse race. It's between those. Yeah. I think that Sam Walsh just probably pips him. I think Wiedering was probably more consistent over a 22-week or however many games we played season. But I think Walsh's second half of the year might see him come home with a wet sail and just sneak home. But it's out of those 2. I can't really see anyone else winning it. I don't know about you.
No, well, it'd be a smoky if it did.
Everyone in the comments, everyone watching, let us know who you think. Yep. And how about we set it up here? Who's coming third? If we can sign to the fact that it's a 2-horse race, who's coming third?
Give me third.
Start me off, Shannon. Who's coming third in the BNF?
Oh, you got me on the spot here. Who actually? I'm just trying to think who else.
I'll see you there, Mish. Cute.
Just a little bit cute. I want to say, I see. I don't know. It's going to be. Yeah, I think I might go with Ed Curnow. Miss, good call.
Ed Curnow is a good bet. Debbie O'Connor says. Mish thinks Curnow.
We'll both be sleeping on the couch if we don't say Ed. So
Lauren Hegarty, Weeders. I don't know whether Lauren means Weeders is coming third or winning, but Weeders will definitely be in the top 3. We can say that much.
To our Queensland viewers, hello.
Massive shout out to our Queensland viewers. Not only does Mish think Curnow, she's also logged in as the Cheer Squad saying Curnow, so she's trying to put 2 votes in. That's electoral fraud, and I'll get Donald Trump after you for that. Weeders, Walsh, and Ed for Lauren. Yeah, so another one for Ed. Ed seems pretty popular. I'll try and think of a few other people. I think that Liam Jones might be as sneaky.
Yep, Liam.
He was pretty good all year. And just to throw a few left field ones around, last year Lockie Plowman finished third, and I'd think he probably had a better year this year than last year. So bring on the hate. This might even be considered my unpopular opinion. I reckon he'll probably finish top 5 again.
I wouldn't say no. I know somebody that loves a bit of the Lockie Plowman, and she was a bit excited last year when he came third.
Am I sleeping on the couch because I said Plowman? Mish likes Plowman. I don't know what the problem is. I didn't say no to Curnow. I'm just throwing other names out there. God, I'm getting in trouble here, I tell you what.
I think that it's going to be a bit of an interesting top 10 because there weren't really, apart from the top 3, any big standouts to me. Like there was a few that were coming and going. Like Jack Martin had a few good games.
Early on, I thought Martin, after round 5 or so, was probably winning it.
Yeah, well, Murph had a few good games. Yep. And Eddie.
Early on, Casbolt will be up there early on.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting night. And I'm actually looking forward to it because obviously I get to see everybody. But it's going to be interesting how they're going to have it set up.
What about Setterfield?
Ooh.
Plays every week or so. I don't think he missed a game.
No, I don't think so. He'll go. I think Willow might be getting a few votes towards the end of the count for his last few games. I think he played all right.
I think Setterfield for me. I don't think he was probably. I think he probably finished in our best 3 only a couple of times, but I reckon he's in our best 6 almost every week. So again, that might be enough to get him close. It'll be really interesting. I hope so. Love Plough, love them all. If they finish top 10, they've earned it.
It's okay, Brett. We're just talking about how much we love Plough and how we think he's going to poll very well in the BNF on the weekend.
I threw out Lockie Plowman's name as a potential top 3 BNF, and so that's why you're getting tagged. You're not getting tagged because anyone's bagging him. Oh yes, if anyone starts, I'll fight him. But I've got control of the comment section, so if anyone starts, I hope Simo's. Rob, I adore you. I hope Simo finishes in the top 5. I feel ashamed. I haven't even thought of Simo.
We get to say goodbye to Simo properly.
To be honest, that's what the night's pretty much about, isn't it? It's Simo and Cruz.
Yeah. I don't care if I have to sit at the other end of the bloody Palladium as long as I get to see that man live on screen.
being there will be, look, it's going to be a different night. I don't think anyone who is going can expect great proximity to the players, and it's not exactly going to be the greatest piss up of all time or anything.
No.
But we're going to have a bit of fun, and hopefully, as we said just then, if we can say goodbye and pay proper tribute to, how do you pay proper tribute to people like Matthew Cruiser and Cade Simpson? But they're two phenomenal servants of our club, and I'm happy to say in both cases, I reckon they're both legends of our club.
100%.
They may not have won flags and stuff, but during the shittest part of our time, they've been probably the two heart and soul of the team in both their own ways. Very good call, Gavin. Harry Mackay, top 5. He is a sneaky.
I forgot about H.
Harry's the sort of guy who I think might actually have the sort of contracts and bonuses in his contract that something like finishing top 5 might bring a bit of extra cash for him. Is incentive based. I would really like to see that, because I think he wouldn't be far off that sort of mark.
I've heard on the grapevine today, it's been circled a couple of places, that
there might be an announcement.
There might be a couple of announcements.
Yeah, I've heard the same. I don't profess to have any inside gossip, but I have heard that.
I've heard that H is going to be recommitting, and a certain captain is going to be recommitting.
I don't think that the captain will be committing on BNF night, only because the rhetoric from Kane Little today on radio said that they're in discussions, but there's nothing really formal taking place at the moment, because they're waiting to see what the salary cap sizes will be going on next year. So there's no use signing a contract for next year until they know how much they're able to spend and what they can allocate toward Crip. So I think that might be one that will not be done by round 1. I don't think there's anything to worry about. Anyone who does start worrying, don't. I really don't think we should have anything to worry about. I genuinely would tell you if I thought otherwise, because God knows I'd be upset enough. But no, I think that it might be something that doesn't take too long, but will probably happen while the season is going. We are officially joined up as members. I haven't received it in the letterbox.
It's on its way.
I can only plead patience on behalf of the club. The membership department at the moment consists of 2 people working from home. I think they're all back at the club as of last Monday. So we announced a record membership. They've got record amounts of memberships to be sending out. And during tough times, with the greatest respect, none of us need it until round 1, at least, depending on which state you live in and stuff like that. But look, plead patience. We do know that the club have been in talks with Australia Post about not only the membership but a lot of merchandise items and stuff as well. So
7,000 still outstanding at Australia Post, apparently.
7,000
roughly. That's from because I'm waiting for Ava's, and that's when I rang the club. They go, give it to the end of this week or next week, and if you haven't had it, they're happy to reissue it. So have a bit more patience. The club are doing all they can, that's for sure.
Yeah, Debbie saying that the salary cap kind of gets finalised at the end of Feb. Is that necessarily that, or is it that our list has to be finalised by then, Debbie? I think that might also be for this year. Like if we have a supplementary pick, hypothetical Oscar McDonald or Xavier Maher are training with Carlton, maybe they have to be signed by then. Is that when
I think so.
The pre-season selection period might end, maybe?
I think that's it, because I think we've got one spot left. Like that year, we're not going to mention.
We should mention we got Cottrell.
Well, yes, but I'm not.
And Michael Gibbons.
To the year that we got someone who didn't stay, and we could have kept someone else, and I'm not going to mention that name because he should have stayed.
What, the bug on the bottom of the foot? Yeah, you step on bugs. That's what we do. Yeah. Has Trevor Waller been given the sack? Yeah, we turfed him out yesterday's lunch. No, Trev hasn't been given the sack. We're soon to start on Carlton Live 2 nights a week. So we'll have a night possibly on Thursdays, and we'll give Tuesdays back to Captain John and Captain Trev, and normality can resume.
They'll be reviewing. We'll be previewing.
Yeah, it'll kind of be a bit of a yin and yang going on with the vibes.
Yep.
Where are we here, Chris? Seeing that hopefully we get 80,000 members, it'll come in the mail as we're in Stall. God's country, shout out to Stall. Still gift. Beautiful place.
Yes, country, as Dylan Buckley would say.
God's country. Shout out to Stall.
Shout out to Dylan Buckley.
Shout out to Dylan Buckley. Look, we don't want to say that we have competition with podcasts. And by the way, there's another podcast. I'm going to shout them out, even though it's our actual direct competition tonight. Blue Abroad tonight have got Glenn Manton on their show. So once you finish watching this, everyone should go and check them out. So the Bolt from the Blue, Glenn's a fantastic human being. And love that bloke. So everyone go and check that out during the week or after you watch us tonight.
Oh, that's asking a bit there, Robert.
A round one show at the Carlton Richmond game. What, just sit with our laptops outside the ground and go live? A live cross to Tom Brown. Oh, I'm not going to be Tom Brown. Who are you going to be? Christy Malthouse or?
No.
Who do we like? I like Caro. You might not like Caro. I think she's all right.
Can't stand her, sorry.
Sam Lane, Kelly Underwood, Lauren Wood.
Decent. I'd rather be Daisy Pearce.
I like Daisy. Daisy's good. You can be Daisy and who's a Carlton person in the media? I'll be Daisy and I'll be Daisy. I'll be Daisy Thomas.
Okay. Daisy.
Yeah. Andy Jones likes the Bolt from the Blue comment. That's what as a kid, that's what I knew him as, the Bolt from the Blue. And for everyone who knows what that means, shout out to the Prince, Mr. Albert. Shout out to it. I couldn't think of anything worse.
Can't relate. Sorry.
That'd hurt like shit. Anyway, but good on Glenn Manton for being an individual. It takes courage to do that.
Oh yes, Sammy Lane's a blue bagger. There you go.
Sammy Lane. I like Sam Lane. Good Carlton woman, and her dad's a good Carlton man.
Yep, good Carlton family. Andy Marr. There you go. You can be Andy Marr. The
Carlton runner. Let's start off. Let's get some unpopular opinions going. Do you want to start with the new ball? Everyone in the comments section, hit us up. Let us know. Come and hit us with your unpopular opinion. What's something up till now that you've been afraid to say? What's something that you think that no one else would agree with? It doesn't have to necessarily to do with Carlton, but we're a Carlton show. Love yous both. Can't wait to round one against Bitchman. Shitman. How's my boy been going, Charlie Curnow? Charlie is going to be ready by sometime during the season.
We hope. Touch wood. Pray.
I'm still not convinced that he's right. I'm kind of 50-50. I think middle of the season, halfway point is when I expect to start seeing him. Whether they then take the cautious route and decide to put it off for the rest of the season is to be seen. But if we're challenging for finals, I think that it'll be given a real consideration to get him into the team.
Yeah. All right. So I struggle with my unpopular opinion every week. So I'm going to let you go first this week.
Okay. Unpopular opinion time. We touched on it last week and when we were discussing who are the players who are going to come and who are the players who are going to go and that sort of thing. I'm of the opinion I'm sick of Carlton. No, I'll just come out and say I'm sick of Carlton fans laying into Mitch McGovern. I think that I've said it before in a different capacity, but I've said that Mitch McGovern, I think, will make it as a Carlton player. I'll go on record tonight and go out on a limb. This time next year, not necessarily in January, but this time the week before the BNF, at the end of the season, I think he'll be in our top 10 BNF. I think the lack of Charlie gives him the opportunity that he needs, and I can actually see him. I know we see it and we hear it every preseason. Oh, they're flying or whatever. I'm seeing it with him. He looks slim. There's a video they put up of him jumping on someone's head last week at training, taking speckies. Just think he's ready to stick it up a lot of us and just break out. I'm bring on the fight, bring on the fire. Here we go. I like Mitch McGovern. I think he should play centre half back. If and when Charlie returns, I don't think that's a bad idea. I think he could make a good centre half back, but I think that this year he will play centre half forward, and I think he'll do all right with it. Well, half forward flank, but I think as that third tall is the role that he is best at. But yeah, I do. I genuinely think that he has it in him to be in the top 10 of our best and fairest. Here comes the hate. Not hate. Rachel, didn't we say this about McGovern this time last year? Yes, we did. Didn't happen. Didn't happen. That's not to say it won't happen this year. I'm happy to bring all of this on. I genuinely think that he has the ability to not only make it as a player, but be a very good contributor for us. And I think that the opportunity he'll be afforded this year, in an uninterrupted seasons, these are all excuses with COVID and all this other bullshit that's gone on for him. It's now or never. Yes, I agree. But I think it is time. I think it's time now for him. Johnny, top 10 in the reserves. Bit harsh. But to be honest, on the form we've seen over the past 2 years, possibly justified. But I have him ahead of Casbolt in my best 22. I probably actually have both. I have all three tools up there. I have him, Mackay, and Casbolt in our starting 22.
Okay.
But because I think Casbolt plays better when he can then go into the ruck and transfer forward.
I agree.
With DeConning as a number one ruck, so Pitnet at the moment just misses out, but depending on who we play, he and TDK might interchange. I don't think Tommy will play every game.
Or no. Huge, but no.
Yeah, so I think that's kind of where I'm at. But yeah, put me down. Mark this and timestamp it, and let's take a screenshot and see where we are in 12 months. Mitch McGovern, top 10 BNF. 740, yep.
2nd of February, Nick has said Mitch McGovern is going to have a breakout year. Done.
Consider it done.
Record.
I'm on record. Fuck it. Why not?
Okay, well, while we're on the same line of whipping boys, you've actually popped an unpopular opinion in my head. Thank you very much.
This would be good.
I am of the opinion that Sam Petreski-Seaton will too have a breakout season.
You get no argument from me. I actually rate him.
I'm sorry. I know a lot of people haven't been rating him, myself included.
Many don't.
Because there are times when he is rushing with the football, and I feel that his position isn't in the back line. That's just my opinion.
Well, his position will be in the back line. The coaches have told us as much.
But I feel that he's just lacking a little bit of confidence.
100%.
And when he does make a mistake, he carries it.
Yep.
And then it carries on to the next contest and the next contest. And that's why he's become such a whipping boy, because he's continuously making errors and not actually...
He's not a person that gets in his own head. I agree.
Yeah. So in order for him to not do that, he obviously needs... Like when he's up and about, it's Chris Yarran, like catch me if you can sort of deal. So I feel like that he just needs to build his confidence. And once he gets that confidence up, and I reckon he'll get that with the likes of Sard running alongside him.
100% agree. 100% agree.
Season.
No, I think the addition of Sard allows him a bit more freedom off that halfback. I think as a unit, the back six will free up. I think also that Williamson might move up the ground onto a wing. And I just think everyone will have a more certain idea of what their role is. Yeah. And I think of all the players in the team, I think that would benefit Samo the most. Yeah. I think he does get that spot. Look, we're still getting answers about if he gets those midfield minutes he wants. I also think he would be beneficial in there. I'm going off all of the club's rhetoric has been, no, he is a defender. He's going to play as a defender, and he's happy to play as a defender. That's all I'm going off.
Yeah.
But I think I also think that he has got a spot down there. For all of the shit talk about Samo, I can't find many people giving examples of games where he choked. I don't think small forwards beat him too often. I think he played very well on Papley. I thought he played very well on Charlie Cameron.
I think it's more his ground field kicking.
I thought he murdered Walters when he played against them. I thought he smashed him.
It's good. No, well, I agree. But there are some instances that his field kicking is a lot to be desired, like hitting a target 20 metres away from him and he kick it out of bounds on the full kind of thing.
Yep.
That's the sort of stuff that it comes with confidence. Like, and when you're confident, you hit a target with your eyes shut.
100%.
So I think that there's a confidence thing for him.
Yeah.
100%.
He's probably a front runner. He's probably the example of someone who's going to be a good player and a good side, but when things are going tough, might struggle a bit.
Yep.
And that's not a knock. A lot of players are like that. Not everyone can be, Cade Simpson and Mark Murphy and these sort of guys, and through all the shit years, still get 25 kicks a week.
That comment right there, I agree with.
Just needs to back himself 100%. And I think Samo's, again, like a lot of them, confidence is key.
Oh yeah, younger boys thrive off confidence.
We want to speak about confidence. Debbie's guy, Dow. Yeah,
another one.
A lot of people write him off. I think his clearance work is very good. It's just that last kick. His finishing is what needs work. You can teach someone to polish. You can polish someone. You can't teach them to want the footy. He wants the footy.
No, I just feel like he was burnt out in his first season.
Smashed. Yep, beaten up and
poorly
managed. Yep, and as a result, as you say, the confidence gets attacked.
Yeah, I think it's the same with Samo, and I think unfortunately the same things happen with Lockie O'Brien. Like his confidence is absolutely shot.
There's one who I do write off. I'm happy to write him off. Well, there's a video that went around last week or the week before, and didn't look good from there. I think several players have gone past him. Yeah. Where are we, Andy? Maybe confidence comes with playing in a position you want to play in. True, but the counterpoint to that would be Zach Fisher. 2019, we spoke to Zach, and I sat on his table at a cheer squad breakfast, and he was telling me how he's a good kid. He was telling me how shitty he was about being played as a forward, and he wanted to play as a midfielder. And he said, "I am a midfielder. I want to play in the mid." David Teague said otherwise and put the fire under the kid's ass and said, "No, we need you to play a role for the team, and we want you to play this role, and that's where you're playing. Your midfield minutes might come as well, but we need you to do this." And once he bought in, look at him. I thought he had a great couple of games when he came back into the team, second half of the year. And he's invested, and he's starting to look like a boy is becoming a man, I think, with Zach Fisher. I think we might be ready to see. Here's another one for a breakout year. Get 22 games of consistency in him. Keep his body right. I think he might be very, very handy half forward for us.
Yeah. And there's another young man running around by the name of Mark Murphy. I feel like he's going to have more of a year on the wing. I don't think he'll play too much inside this year. That's just my personal opinion. And congratulations to Mark, Jesse, and Max on the exciting news that they're going to be having a baby girl.
Mark Murphy's dick works.
You said that today, and I couldn't stop laughing.
It makes me so happy knowing that. Anyway, keep it. My fiance is watching this. I adore Mark Murphy. I adore that man. So, and I adore his wife, and I adore King Max is going to get a little sister who's going to become queen, whoever.
That's exactly right.
No, they're a beautiful family. Congrats, Murphys.
Yes.
Congrats to the Murphys. What else have we got to hit on? Whereabouts are we at? Anything else on the radar? We've got a few. John, that's a very good question. Look, I don't play Supercoach anymore because it's an anti-Herald Sun thing for me. I still care enough, but it's an anti-Herald Sun thing on my end. But who would be the first player into your Supercoach? Without knowing their prices, if you're buying stock in someone, who are you buying stock in?
Mark Murphy.
Mark Murphy. Wouldn't you? I would love to see him do a Gary Ablett, turn the clock back and just average 100 points a game. For me, I think without knowing everyone's specific prices, I think Cripps's price might have gone down a tiny bit, so therefore he might prove to be a bit of a bargain. Someone like a Zach Williams, Tom De Koning will be maybe. I think Tom De Koning will be starting as a number one ruck, so I don't think he'd be costing a hell of a lot in Supercoach. He might not be scoring 100 a week, but if you're able to afford, I don't know, again, not knowing how much he costs, if someone like a De Koning could be afforded as your third option in your ruck, he could make you a cash cow and turn in a lot of bit of money for you.
Yeah, well, while we're talking on that, I was just going to mention this one here as a final point. I feel sorry for the kid. I really do.
For Liam?
Yeah, I feel. Oh no, I'm thinking of someone else. No, Liam Stocker. Thoughts on him?
Were you thinking of Kemp?
Yeah.
Tough. It's a hard one. The kid. Look, there are people who are already starting to get fears about him. Oh, is he going to become the next Charlie Curnow, a kid with talent who we lose to injury. I don't think so. I know for a fact that the club aren't worried. He lasted a quarter in the match simulation that they had going before he hurt himself. And in that quarter, he had 8 touches playing as a midfielder. I don't think they're worried.
Well, going back to Stocker, I actually think he will get a good run of it this year. He'd be my best 22.
He'll go real close. Again, we talk about confidence. He's a kid who's gone through a bit mentally, but he's ready. I think I've mentioned on this show, he messaged the cheer squad saying, "Get ready to see me in full flight." So that doesn't sound like a kid with tickets on himself. That sounds like to me a kid who's ready. He knows he's confident in his body. He feels good and he's ready to play.
What's what you want?
So, God, how many years have we had these kids? They're showing promise and they've got signs, but they just every time they show signs, they just keep getting knocked down with injury. Look, we mentioned Williamson and Setterfield and stuff before. There's a few, I'm going to click on this comment as I say it, from Debbie O'Connor saying about there's a lot of naysayers out there and doomsdayers. People all of a sudden, because of Kemp getting injured and Curnow getting injured, are all of a sudden doubting the role of Andy Russell at Carlton. I would point you directly to Will Setterfield, who's come off a knee reconstruction, and look what he's done over the past 12, 18 months with him. Played every game.
Willow's
very, very good. Williamson, no one is very quick to talk about what's going wrong rather than what's going right. These guys have not only played very good footy. Liam Jones has come back from several injuries, but is fit and is strong.
Docker.
Sorry?
Doherty
again. Now, he was able to play every game, to my knowledge.
And he missed one? Did he miss the last game?
Might have missed the last game, would have been it. But yeah, so these sort of guys getting fit, getting onto the park and performing. So I wouldn't be worried. It's very easy to say I've got rose-coloured glasses. But as Debbie's saying, it's even easier to sit from the cheap seats and say, oh, well, this is going wrong, this is going wrong. We said before about Carlton, no excuses.
That's it. Who's starting in our midfield?
If they're both at full flight, I think everyone fit, they both are in my best 22.
Oh, yeah. Him with
everyone's fit, they're both in it.
Walshy and Cripper are in there as well.
Oh, are they in the starting centre square? No, but they're in my best 22, both fit.
Yeah.
I still think our best starting midfield starts as Cripps, Walsh, and probably Curnow. It's probably our starting 3 in there, and then Setterfield and Williams to be on the wing, Murphy probably in and out of there. Stocker, where am I here? Stocker will be valuable, as said, if he gets himself right. Apparently, he's been training with the forwards, I've heard. Initially, he started off I think he debuted as playing off the half back, trying to get him a bit settled into that sort of role, playing a bit of freedom. Apparently, he's training at the moment with the forwards. I can't confirm that, but I have heard that from a handful of sources. Did Russell work with Carlito at the WWE for the Royal Rumble? He looked ripped. I'm going to be honest, Rob. I've only seen the Women's Royal Rumble. I haven't seen the men's yet, so no spoilers. Thanks for letting me know Carlito returns, though. Who struggles to get a game this year? Lucky O'Brien does.
I'm going to say Mick Gibbons might be.
Ooh.
I love him, but I think if Stocker's in full flight, if Kemp's in full flight, he's going to be one of those ones that kind of struggles to get in.
Maybe got a lot of players in that same position now. Fogarty's come into the side. We've got guys like Honey, Durden, etc., all playing that same role. Mark Murphy might be playing that role.
Yeah.
There's a lot of Cunningham in there, a lot of competition.
And Jack Silvani's another one that's going to be fighting for that spot. So it's a good position to be in. Like, we haven't spoken about Jack tonight, but
where does he fit in? We have mentioned it previously. He's on the cusp, but not in my best 22. No. Shannon, you're also of the same opinion, I think.
Yeah. I've said many times now that he needs to pull his finger out. I love Jack because if we both recall that first half of the Perth game, we've said it many times in 2019 that he needs to pull his finger out, and he did that game when he shut 5 down in that second half. If we get that Jack Silvani, he's in our best 20.
I strongly agree. And a lot of these guys have the ability to be in there. It's as Debbie's here saying, she says, well, how do you pick 22? Well, I could easily pick 27 names, 28 names like that.
Yeah.
But only 22 of them can get picked each week. And that's a good thing that we've got depth. It doesn't necessarily mean that we're writing these blokes off.
No.
That they're no good. It just means that we've got the depth now. Then there's competition for places, and it's a bit harder. There's so many guys. We said exactly. We said it's now or never for Jack Silvani. Well, it's also now or never for Cunningham. It's now or never for someone like Nunes. You said Gibbons is a really good call. There's a lot of guys who are okay. Well, if they don't perform, they'll find their spot in the team out. They will get dropped.
Cunningham's another one of mine that you just mentioned.
He's my whipping boy.
He when he's on, and when he's not, you know it.
Look, I've set that game against Essendon is the benchmark for me. That was fantastic. That was the benchmark. I want to see that for a year. Do that. I will rescind every bad comment I ever made about you, but I'm not confident that he's going to make it. But I hope to God he proves me wrong. But we said there's a lot of competition. So as you said, look, it's not easy to pick a 22, and that's a good thing. That doesn't mean that these guys are no good. It means that we've got a lot of blokes who are pretty good.
Good problem. I'd rather this problem than having list cloggers.
Yeah, I think those days are pretty much gone. I can't think of anyone on the list, or maybe one or two, but there's not a lot on the list now who I don't really see much in.
No, well, that's the good thing. Like this is the whole point. Going back to the start of the conversation tonight about that blueprint and the 5-year plan. Like we said, we were going to go to X amount of drafts. We said we're going to go to trade week half.
And they did it. And then they did it.
It's not like they're feeding us crap.
It's almost as if the club are telling us one thing and then doing it.
No.
Oh, look. Yeah. I know that if you ever subscribe to the Herald Sun or listen to SEN or watch Channel 9 or do whatever, that they'll tell you that there's crisis, and like I'm going to have my moment. Kane Little today went on SEN to talk about record membership for the 3rd year in a row. Carlton is debt-free for the first time in a quarter of a century. You know the first question you got asked?
What?
What's his relationship currently with Steve Silvani?
Are you serious?
First question. This is what we deal with. Don't listen to that external bullshit. You can trust the club. Yes, they're not 100% transparent with a bit of injury news from time to time, but when this club says they're going to do things, they do them.
I'm actually sick to death of hearing about this whole Silvani saga. The amount of time people asked in the members forum last month, I was actually ready to turn it off.
Even after all of those questions were answered at last year's members forum.
That's exactly right. Like 2019, they were asked these questions. This is like a 2-year saga.
Bring back Favola.
Bring back Favola. Sack the board. I'm actually sick of it.
Why did we ever get rid of Brock McLean? I've heard that one too before. Anyway.
I'm actually sick of it. Like, move on, everybody. Silvani is no longer at our club. Yes, he is.
Nick Austin is, and his first off season has been a doozy.
Exactly. Like he's. Everyone just needs to get over it. Like, yes, he's a champion of our club. Yes, he did what he did for us, which was fantastic, and we got all these fantastic players in because of Sauce.
Yep.
But it's time to move on, everybody.
Yeah, build a bridge, everyone. That's the official quote of the night. Debbie was watching a 2018 game the other night. We were getting flogged. Dwayne and Kingy were saying Carlton were playing for 2021. We've been underpaying our salary cap deliberately. We're still only at 95% of the salary cap, so it's a very deliberate move so that a lot of these new guys we're bringing in, the Martins of the world, now Sard and Williams, we're able to front end a lot of those contracts because we've got so much room in the cap.
Yeah.
By front ending them, it means that next year, pardon me, I got the hiccups. It's the rum. But by next year, we can go after not a Brent Stanton. We can go after someone like a Zach Merritt. We've got the room to still go after big names. So I think our salary cap and our list will look very good. No one should be worrying about Cripps. That money's going to be there. They're going to pay him what he's deserved. And he might also back himself in for a big year and get what he is worth, because he is worth over $1 million a year. We all know it.
I reckon he's going to have a year out of the box because he absolutely thrives on like confidence as well. Like when we didn't have fans last year, I feel that Cripper.
Look at the difference in Cripper between that game that he literally put us on his shoulders against Brisbane the week after Teague took the job, after Bolts got the sack. Watch the difference in his body language in that game versus, let's say, the game against Hawthorn where we lost, where he's taking marks at 50 and trying to play on and go on his left foot and do all this freaky, just he lost focus. I really think Cripps lost focus this year, and it's not a knock on him. It's just to show that his body wasn't right. The year got to him a bit. Get him right, and we've got a Brownlow medalist on our hands. We all know it.
Either he or Walsh will win one in the next 3 years.
Yep.
Calling it now.
Johnny Rose says Josh Kelly. He is available. There's a lot of good players available. Bontempelli's name's out there, but I don't think he's going to go anywhere. But
I don't want Bont. Sorry.
I do. Whew. Only big call from other clubs. The only player that I would take over him is Dustin Martin, and Dusty's 30. Bontempelli would be the second player I'd pick if everyone's available. He's the second bloke I pick.
Yeah, Cripper in beast mode. That is exactly what I want to see, Rob. Cripper in beast mode.
Hulk smash.
Can he please? Watching Cripper in full flight at his best is sensational.
A thing of beauty. A thing of beauty.
It is a thing of beauty.
Did we end up getting your unpopular opinion?
Yeah, I did. Samo.
Oh, dear. I apologise. I was about to try and do another segue. See how fancy I am with my segues? I was trying to do a Shannon Gore. I was trying to do... by the way, here's another thing. Well, in that case, here's a very non-rehearsed segue. What are other things going on at the moment that we should be allowing all our viewers and people in the comments to know about? Is the Cheer Squad got anything going on recently that may have just recently launched?
Yes, I was actually going to bring this up. For those of you that don't know, the last couple of years we have been doing a footy tipping competition through the Cheer Squad. So we have relaunched that again for 2021. I believe that it is going to be another big one. And we have a great bunch of prizes again up for grabs. I think it's very similar to last year. It's a team signed Guernsey.
Team signed Guernsey's first prize.
Is it a Cripper signed Guernsey for the second one?
Patrick Cripps signed Guernsey is. These all come with certificate of authenticity. Cripper.
And Eddie Betts for our third
prize. Now, if Eddie Betts signed Guernsey, possibly in his last season ever, is the third prize, we're doing really well. So everybody get in it. 100%. $25 to enter. Last year we had over 120 or so people join last year. Massive success. And $25 to enter. All money goes toward the Cheer Squad, helping us get materials for banners, for floggers, for flags, etc., for us to be able to deck ourselves out in all the colour and passion that we do have for the club. Get around that. And yes, you will be... courtesy of Michelle, her nephew, is a 5-year-old Doggies fan who 2 years ago came third. Up until the last round, he was winning. Last year, he kind of forgot to put his tips in. 5-year-olds during lockdown aren't so focused on footy tipping, turns out, and he kind of let his guard down a bit. But, it's a lot of fun. Everyone loves the footy tipping. I'm going to put Frank Liparata's post up there just because you love seeing his name up on the screen. Shout out to Frankie Fish. I love you, brother.
Hi, Frank.
We're in a spot now. Yeah, so our footy tipping, get around it. Also, this week is Pride Round. Get around it. Carlton Pride, where is my scarf? Here we go.
I've also got a raffle going for Pride Round, guys. They're raffling off the new Pride jumper that has just come out. Yep. I believe I saw that today. Thank you very much.
So the Pride Guernsey that has just launched last night, I think it got launched, or maybe on Sunday. Darcy Vesio has designed it in collaboration with the whole team. We have Carlton Pride have one of those Guernseys up for raffle. All the details will be on Carlton Pride's Facebook and Instagram pages.
Be shared on the Carlton Cheer Squad page if you don't follow them. But
Cheer Squad page did follow it, and I might even ask if we can try and get it shared on the Carlton Live page if I can get permission from Johnny and Trev, because everyone should, in a week like this and during the Pride round, get around Carlton Pride. I'm on the committee, so I'm unashamed going to give another plug. Doing amazing work. And in a week like this, it means a lot to us to get some support. So not only are we selling raffle tickets to that, but we've also got the scarves, the Carlton Pride scarves, which are really awesome, and a ton of merch, badges, etc. available. Everyone should get around it and give us a bit of a kick out. I think that's about all the items we have to flog off at the moment. Actually, I've got one more. Everybody, we want in the comments during the week, and we'll review this. So comment on this video, even if you're watching it not live. Comment on this video who you think will be our top 3 best and fairest. So we said it before. So I'm going to put down Walsh to beat Wiedering, and then I'm going to go on a limb and put I'll go Jones third. Shannon,
equal first for Walshy and Weeders, and I'm going to go Ed Kerno for third.
Okay, so everybody put in your top 3. If anyone can get the top 3 in order, we might be just giving away a Carlton voucher as on behalf of Carlton Live. Let's say $50 Carlton shop voucher for anyone who can get it exactly right, the top 3 in order. And we will look forward to reviewing this time next week and hopefully giving away that $50 Carlton shop voucher.
That's it. And don't forget, John, I think John and Trev, or Trev is going live from the BNF on the Carlton Live page.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
So we might pop in and see Trev if he is online while we're there. But don't.
I might try and join from our table. Yeah.
Yeah. So just make sure your guys are watching on Saturday night, because I believe he is going live. Confirm if I'm wrong, Trev. Just let us know. But I believe you did mention something about going live on Best and Fairest night. So if
I hope to God he's nowhere near Levi Casbolt. Otherwise, this could be a MA15 or higher rating on our show next week.
Yeah, well, let's just try and keep him away from Levi then. But anyway, well, I think that's about it, Nick. What do you think?
We've wrapped everything up and we've managed to stay pretty much on time. We've gone a tiny bit over, but we've done really, really well. Thank you so much for everybody who's been in the comments. As always, our show is only not only fun to us, we would be having fun if none of you were here, but it is so much more fun thanks to all of you being here and joining us and interacting with us in the comments. It really does make the time fly and the discussion flow a lot better. Massive shout out to all of you, and a massive shout out to all the Carlton fans out there. 67,000 members by the 1st of Feb it was announced. Absolutely massive. Every Carlton fan and member deserves a massive pat on the back. The Teague train is rolling, Shan.
Toot toot.
Cue the Thomas the Tank music, because we are chugging along, and I think we're just getting started. I think there's some big things around the corner for the Carlton Football Club. I'm
going to put it out there. They know we're coming.
They do know. No, stuff it. They do know we're coming, and so they should. No, I agree with you. Unapologetically, we are going to return to our rightful place.
We are at the top of the food chain. Yep. The circle of life, as so to speak. We'll be on top of Pride Rock. Top of the food chain is exactly how I'd put it as well. Survival of the fittest, and stuff the rest. Let's be the fittest. Stuff the rest. Bless you, Shan. Thank you. It's a pleasure as always, mate. No worries. You too, Nick. If I am there on Friday night, I'll see you. If not, I'll see you Saturday night. In Darcy Vesio, we trust. Thank you, everybody. Have a great night, and until next time, go Blues. Go Baggers.